Hello, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Seen and Heard live show that brings you such a great guest that we can't wait to speak to them.
Exactly. We are super excited today to have Laura with us. She's waiting in a power pose. We are waiting in the same pose. You just can't see us very well, but we are heeding her instructions. Laura,
Yeah.
could you tell us a few things about
Oh,
yourself?
thank you for the full picture. So maybe also everyone who is watching or hearing us, they can also take their hands, put it on their hips, and like give them a little confidence boost this morning. Why this? And why I wanted, or like that, yes, or put your hands in the air. Why I wanted to start like this, because I think it's like the perfect exercise that you can take for yourself for public speaking in non-native language, because it's quite a lot about the confidence and not so much about the language itself. And not just that, you realize in this pose that your body is also um, a part of your way of speaking. What I'm talking about here is like if I'm hunched like this, and that's something that we want to do when we are nervous, we are hunching, like we want to be small, we want to hug ourselves maybe. And like that, you can hear my voice is not open. You can hear it right away. It's like, I'm small, I'm a very, very small person. And talking like this, I have authority. So it's like thinking of your body like a sound machine, and not just your voice here, but also your body. And I think starting like this is a perfect way to present myself, because I'm all about exercises and little less about the theory.
Regarding the exercises, I'm just reminded how it goes in the school. My
Yeah.
hips start to move right away when I'm in this pose. Ooh.
Yeah. We can go back to your normal screen.
Okay, enough of the power poses. Let's see how does this work now. No, I need to put this here. Yeah, we're back
We
to
have
the
some comments
normal
already. People are joining in. Samuel is saying,
in
waving
their
hands in
power
the air like
poses.
he does here. And then good morning. First the waving, then good
Yeah.
morning. Everyone's activated. Thank you, Laura. And thank you for stopping on time because Darko would have started already.
Like doing the whole morning routine.
Yes. Excellent. So we see you put communication coaching for people with no time.
Yeah.
Why for people with no time?
That's something that I have learned the last year. It's almost a year that I have opened up my business. It's a few days ahead. Like we have the fifth today. It's on the 17th. It's my birthday anniversary for my company. And I have learned that working with my clients, I provide them a lot of exercises and less theory. I'm not about the theory. I'm about learning by doing. And that's how it then came up. I work mostly with CEOs and leaders, the CEOs of the small companies mostly, and they don't have a lot of time. So sometimes working on a communication for them means like we are going to exchange like 10 voice messages this week, and we are not going to have our one-on-one coaching. And I think it's quite a powerful message to say you can also work on your communication when you don't have time for that, because it's something that's a part of your day. So like when you are in a meeting, or you're invited to a podcast maybe, that's also something that can happen, and your communication coach is going to contact you after this podcast, after this meeting, and just say two questions. How was it? What was what did you use that you didn't use till now? And that's how we grow a step for a step in a small exercises, in a small time slots. You have a lot of impact on a big scale. It's like, also, I think everyone knows now the Atomic Habit book. Yeah, and it's like this similar approach, like being 1% better than the last week.
And it all starts with a power pose and standing up.
It doesn't have to, but I thought it's a very good introduction to this podcast, because you also said it's not about being perfect, but to show yourself and to be present and to build this presence in another language. And I think sometimes the people just need a little bit of push. It's not like 1,000 exercises or like polishing the perfect language for this presentation. It's just like a bit of confidence push in this direction to make this sound better.
I think people often need a push in their first language as well.
Yeah.
But you help them with English and German. And I'm curious, is there a difference? I teach English, but not German. And I'm curious, because of the nature of the languages, is there a different approach or a different way that people
I
ask?
think, sorry for interrupting you. The biggest difference between these two languages is like starting English, you're going to start to talk very fast. Like you are going to reach, if we are talking about the levels of the language, you're going to reach A2, B1, and you are going to be able to speak. It's, I would say, maybe also because it's English is all over the place. So, and in German, it's the opposite. You have to learn till, I would say, B2. It's the most difficult part to start this journey of learning German, so to say. And when you have reached the B2, from B2 to C2, it's much, much easier. But to learn these ground rules of the language, it's not so easy. And that's the main difference, I would say. So if someone that I'm working with is not very fluent in German, it's going to be much harder for them than in English.
Okay. Well, Darko has heard these letters before with some of
Yeah, I'm always confused with
but he's
these
always
later A,
confused.
B,
So let's
C,
Yeah, it's a
11,
level. So
12. I don't know
we
what
could say
it is.
like B1 is the third level and B2 is the
Okay.
fourth level.
Now we have again those letters and numbers. Never mind. Yeah, but we've heard before in one of our previous episodes, I think it was about a year ago, that a person with stutter tends to even speak better English, their second language, than the first one. Does it happen also with presentation, perhaps?
No.
No, no.
I'm
Okay.
also I'm also coaching people in creation language. So I'm doing all the three languages. So the native, German, and English. And I would say it's a bit even worse in non-native language, because what do people tend to do with a presentation? They are like a week before, like, oh, I have a presentation next week, please prepare me. And then when the next sentences, it's in English, and I'm like, what, next week?
I
Because
thought it
they
was
are
going to be next day, so next week. You
even
have
worse.
plenty of time for that. It is how I feel about it.
Yeah, but you have then you have to be very good in presenting already, or you have to be a very good speaker of this language, because
But
in
we
one,
all are. Don't we all think we are great at presenting things and great at speaking other languages? until we open our mouth and be in front of the audience.
I think the worst thing about the presenting is the most of the people think that they are like very good in it because they don't get the proper feedback. Like after a presentation, everybody in the company is like, oh, it was a good presentation. And then they are going to speak with the colleagues. Did you understand something? I didn't understand anything. What was this? And I don't think that people are still aware how important are the presentations, and that by being a good communicator and being a good presenter, you have far more chances to um, get a better job, get more customers, and that's something that it's not very common opinion still. But what I wanted to say about the languages is if you need like a week to prepare your presentation in your native language, you need a bit more in your non-native language. I can remember when I started working like 8 years ago, and I had my first presentations in German. I was very fluent in German. I'm still speaking German much better than English. Um, and I had to prepare a presentation for a board member. I prepared everything. Like I prepared where was the pause, what I'm going to say, like a small, not just like what I'm going to present, but also the in-between parts, what I'm going to say. Because when you have so important presentation in front of a board member, you never know what's going to happen. You are like, maybe I'm going to get so nervous, I'm not going to know anything more. And then I even presented it in front of my colleagues first. I really took a lot of time. I invested a lot of time in preparation, and it went great. But if I hadn't done that, it could go also another way. So that's something that where I see the biggest difference between native presentation in a native language and presentation in non-native language is that people tend to not think about how important the preparation is.
They don't think of the A1, A2 of presenting as a skill.
Yeah, yeah.
And how long do you think we should prepare?
It depends. It depends. How nervous are you?
Months, Edita, months before.
Mhm.
There are no shortcuts for this.
You know, the TED Talks, they are like prepared 2 months ahead. I get a
Yeah,
quite a
you heard
lot.
it now.
Yeah, for 15
Everyone's
minutes.
crying in the comments.
Yeah. um, a lot of people want to present like Steve Jobs. They are like, oh, he's so great in it. But nobody wants to hear that Steve Jobs prepared for his, I think, first iPhone presentation like 6 months. Not 6 days, not 6 weeks, 6 months. So, yeah.
This seems
Um,
like a stand-up comedian routine where they test everything and they come with the best words, best poses, and pause not to stop speaking at the moment and everything. So this is also part of a preparation that you test it on other people.
yeah. I mean, when I'm coaching people with my clients, I'm the one who is doing the testing. So they have to present it in front of me like 10, 15, 20 times before they go in front of the audience. And like every time I'm pretending to be really the audience and like, I did not understand that part. I'm really like trying to get in this role where I'm not fully aware of the expertise of this other person, and then like stepping behind and saying, okay, this was not clear for me, one more time. What's also great is filming yourself, recording yourself, and then looking, okay, what's going on? How do I sound? How do I move? That's what I said on the beginning. Like these poses are very off there in non-native language, because when you are presenting in non-native language, you are not just thinking about your content, you are also thinking about the grammar, syntax, and so on. Because your grammar in your native language is autopilot, and in non-native, it's not like that. And what do people tend to do in non-verbal language? They are like hugging themselves. They are putting off their hands in their pockets. That's also a way of suiting yourself. And that's also something that you have to take in account when you are preparing for a presentation.
So no pockets. Okay.
I would say,
Clothes without pockets, and try not to hug yourself.
I would say prepare so good that you don't have to hug yourself.
Okay. Would this include also speaking in front of a test audience, like not one person who teaches you how to present, but also to the test audience? If it's an audience of 10 people, then have a test audience of 10 people also.
Yeah.
No?
It's like you have read my LinkedIn post today, I would say. Did you?
No, I was
wrote
walking the dogs. I didn't read LinkedIn
Okay.
today yet.
I
But
found it funny
I'll go for it.
because it's exactly what I wrote today. I wrote about the stand-up comedians last week in Split. Yeah, and how you can learn a lot about public speaking from it. What they do when they have like a big stage presence, like the last week it was 4,000 people. They never come up with new jokes in front of this big audience. They do the jokes that are already tested on a smaller audience, and they are sure with it. And something similar we should do when we are preparing for a very important presentation. Like, as I said, I did that as I had my presentation in front of the board member, because it was that important. But if you have like some small presentation and you don't think that it needed, then you don't have to do that. But it depends. What are the stakes in this presentation? Are they big or small? And then you are just.
So for those who have no time and they come and they tell you, I have this presentation in 2 days, it's quite important.
These are not my clients. In 2
But
days.
don't you want to help them at least a bit? They
A
need
bit.
help.
Okay. If I want to help a bit, maybe the first tip, it would be sing in this language. It's something that nobody expects, but like
Sing.
Sing, yeah.
I cannot sing in my own language, you know.
Me neither. I am very.
Oh, so it's better in other languages. Okay.
I'm very bad at singing. Like, you don't want to hear that, but I did it this morning, because the last days, as I said to you earlier, I talked a lot of German this week, really. And
German is really tough for singing. That I know.
And through it, what happens if you are speaking more languages, if you are speaking a lot of your non-native, some other language, what's happening in my brain now? I want to speak German, because it's something that I did the last days. So what to do about it is like sing before your presentation, even sing the day before, the morning before, and you are going to get in a tempo of this language. Like, the musician is leading you to do it a proper way, so to say. You don't have to know how to sing. Like, I'm also not good, and as said, but it's something that helps a lot. Like, speaking a bit before the presentation in this non-native language, is it English or German? It's not important, but to get, like, you can think of it like the first gear of a car, like starting your engine a bit to warm up. So that's definitely a tip I would give. Then learn what's something that's going to relax you, because you are probably going to be nervous. So what is something that helps you? For some people, it's like fast-paced walking before the presentation. For some, it's some maybe visualization or something like that. One technique that I find far most that's giving the best results by my clients is breathing that we can test now if you want. Should we?
Sure, we like breathing.
Yeah, we all
No,
like breathing.
you
We
have
all do it.
you have
I
to
would
breathe.
like to test the singing part, but why not
No,
breathing? No
please
problem.
What song did you sing this morning, Laura? You have to tell us.
Englishman in New York.
Oh,
Excellent.
I was thinking if you're doing a presentation, perhaps in German, and it's about tools, I wouldn't know about songs about tools, and it would be quite difficult to, let's say, sing about Schraubenzieher oder sowas. I don't know how you would sing about it and get it in tempo for the tools part in German.
No, you pick a song in a German language. It doesn't have to be about your topic. Just to get your speed in this language, so to say, to accelerate
Okay.
a bit in a language.
Okay. Let's try this singing.
You mean
That's
breathing? You don't want to hear me
okay.
sing.
He really
Okay.
wants to sing now.
You
I
can sing,
want.
but I'm not going to do that because
I
everybody
really
is going
wanted
to
to
run
hear
away
the
from this
singing
podcast.
part. She cannot be confused, can she? No. Okay.
So it's like you breathe in through your nose 2 times without breathing out, and then you have like a long breath out through your mouth. So let's try. It's like Darko didn't do it. I don't know why.
No, I didn't understand. You breathe twice in and then once out, and you don't breathe after that.
Yeah.
This is how it looks like.
Yeah. It's
And
exactly.
when am I allowed to breathe again then?
You are going to breathe out on the end, and then you are going to breathe normally.
Okay. I thought you need to stay without breathing later. Okay. So it's
Breathe out. Yeah,
and now I can breathe again. Okay.
yeah, and you can hear it also in your voice, and you can hear it a bit in my voice, that your voice is a bit more deep than it was. And I
Yeah.
find it so great because it's one exercise that you can like see the impact right away.
I could also hear that I should clean my nose, but yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff can be heard.
And it's the one that really brings your nerves down. It's something that helps a lot. It can help also in other situations. It doesn't have to be a presenting situation, like when someone is arguing with you or similar. The most important part is that when breathing out, this should really be very, very long, like doing this. Yeah, and you asked me what would I then also say if the presentation is in 2 days. Yeah, that's probably it, because 2 days.
We have a comment, no breathing allowed. You hold your breath till you collapse. That's a good way to get
And
out of
then
a
you're ready
presentation.
to do it in 2 days. You're ready.
Yeah. Then you don't have the problem with the presentation anymore.
Does it come as a shock to some leaders that they need to practice a lot? Because as you said, people who are listening to presentations, they might be sleeping, doing something else, then they go, oh, you did so well. And then they might get used to that and go, I've never gotten any bad feedback. Why should I practice for 6 months or whatever?
Yeah, it's how do I how should I put it? It's really difficult to convince some people that they need to practice. I had also the experience that company leaders from really big companies in Croatia are like, I'm never going to practice. And then I'm just like, okay, you are not going to practice, you're going to get the same results. And very often the people say to me, Laura, I'm so nervous about it, and I do this and I do that. And then I'm like, did you prepare? No. What do you expect? it's I like to say it as when other way around. So if you want to play a piano and you never played the piano in your life, or you played it maybe sometime, but you don't know how to play it, you're just like you are typing on a computer doing it, so playing a piano. And if I give you the notes to the playing piano, you will not say like, okay, I'm going to read that a little bit, there is my audience, I'm going to sit here now and I'm going to play. But when it's about the communication, we are acting exactly like that. We are like, oh, the most people, what they do in preparation, they take something like this and they go, okay, I'm going to say that and I'm going to say that. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. And then they go in front of the audience and they are like, oh, I don't know what I wanted to say. Of course, because that is not a preparation. Like every skill that you have, like playing a piano, you're learning it by playing a piano. So if you want to learn properly to present, you have to present and then you're going to learn it. But yeah, it's pretty hard, and I'm lucky that the clients that I have, they recognize this need, and that's why they come to me.
So you're saying it's not enough to have a few colorful slides to read from and to.
That's the worst case scenario. Like a slide with 100 bullet points, and then you turn and you read, and like, okay, this and this, and let's go home. And no eye contact with the audience and nothing. Yeah.
What if I look at the audience, then read, then look again and smile?
Good one, but no.
Do people think that they need to go, since we've used the letters already, go from like B1 to C2 and then present? What about these people? Because when I talk to my clients, I often speak with perfectionists, so the opposite of what we were talking about, and they might never present because they want to reach a certain standard that maybe doesn't even exist before they try.
It strongly depends on a person, because also in a native language you have like people that are not going to present ever because they are so afraid of it, they don't think they are good in it, and so on. And they are going just to say, okay, give it to someone else. It's a big mistake, because till now we know the people who are good in communication skills, they are the ones who are going to get a better job, they are going to get more clients. So it's one of the most important skills that you can have. But what I'm trying to do with my clients is to go through this text and to explain to them it's not important if you have an accent. It's not important if you make a mistake. Even if you make a mistake, I don't know, did someone till now said that if you make a mistake, you are more, the audience is going to like you more. So some of the great public speakers even wrote down their mistakes. And Darko is wondering now, how is that? And I'm going to ask you a very...
So you do your mistakes on purpose, or how is it that?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, so it's all part of a stand-up act. Okay.
Think about some perfect speaker who does it from the minute one, very good, no filler words, nothing. Everything is perfection made. He doesn't stutter. Everything is great. He doesn't need to start his sentence again. How do you feel when you're thinking about this person? What are your feelings?
It's an AI avatar for sure.
Okay.
There we have it. We have AI topic again. Oh.
Other thoughts, Darko?
Well, this is the part that I would say I fear. So, not to create a too perfect talk presentation, I would say I wouldn't practice to be more natural.
Okay, but if you are watching someone,
This is my explanation why I avoid practicing. So, take it or leave it. Because it looks stupid if everything is perfect, right?
okay, it looks stupid, but why it looks stupid? Because we cannot relate with that. We don't relate with people who are perfect.
Yeah, we
I like
hate
to say,
superhumans, perfect
yeah,
ones. So,
I like to say it
no.
in my workshops. Sometimes we don't relate with a Barbie or a Ken. We relate with people. So, doing a mistake in your presentation, there was a study done on this. Is going to make you more likable. So, like,
The
it's a
more
great
mistakes you make, you're going to be more likable.
okay.
Yeah, one more point, one not practice. Great, thank you.
If you are like, if the audience can see that you did not practice at all, it's going to go another way. But if you practice and you make a
Okay,
few
so too
mistakes,
much of good thing is not good. Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, exactly.
confusing, but okay.
Yeah. So that's something that I'm going to say at the beginning of every one-to-one session, and that's something where the people go like, okay, because then if you are like you cannot remember a word or you don't know how to end a sentence, you just laugh to yourself, start at the beginning, and nothing is going to happen. It's something that really helps a lot, knowing this. And what it helps also a lot for the for my clients that are not like high level non-native speakers, it helps a lot to think in shorter sentences. I don't know, do you use that, Edita? In shortened sentences, say what do you know how to say it. Don't use very complex words, big sentences. This is something that I even what I see even more in German, because German language is like so. They have a lot of big sentences, a lot of complex words, but just like simplify. My my English teacher used to say when we did like quiz, and so she used to say when she saw we didn't know what to write, she said like, write what you know. Don't try to write what you don't know. And it's similar like preparing for the presentation. Prepare what you know. Like we can take the example of bottleneck. You are talking about some business and there is a bottleneck to something, and you cannot remember this word bottleneck. Just phrase it in something else, like the most problems that happen here. It's not about perfection. It's about bringing your message to your audience.
That makes sense. Yeah, yeah. So don't talk about things you don't know much about or are too difficult for you. So yeah,
Yeah,
you get confused even more in front of the audience on the stage.
exactly.
I know comedians have this similar trick. Stand-up comedians have this similar trick with water. When you're confused, you take your glass of water and you drink a bit, so you have some time to think about.
Yeah,
Is
that
this also a part of presentation, perhaps, when you stop and you are confused a bit?
I have took the water now because I'm a bit.
No, I didn't think it was because of this now, but you reminded me of this when you
Okay.
drink. Do you also explain to your students that this could be used when
Yeah.
they stop,
Yeah.
they
You
don't
can
know what to say?
you can learn a lot from stand-up comedians, and every time when I say this in my coaching, when I'm saying, did you ever see a stand-up comedian drinking a bit of water? Yes. Do you know they go and read their text there? What? And they're like, next time when they went to stand up, oh, Laura, they are really reading their text there now. I know, because mostly the stand up comedians, they have water and text to the water there. And they are going to take a look at the notes and going to remind themselves. But it's not the water itself, it's like um, the pause. That's the most important part. You don't have to be afraid of silence. And the most people are very afraid of silence. And the silence in, I mean, not the silence itself, but the pause in speaking is the best advice you can get. For filler words, just pause, and then you don't have to have a filler word. People are going to pay a lot of more attention to you if you are going to have pauses in your speech, and it helps you also to have the time to think about it, to think about something you are going to say, or to remember what you forgot. So the problem with it is like when you are in front of the audience, these 10 seconds of a pause, they look like 10 hours. And that's what my clients always say, like, Laura, it was so awful to be silent for so long. And then I'm like, please look at your video. Is it so long? And that's the great thing about recording yourself, because you can rewind these small parts and you can see it's not 10 hours, it's just 10 seconds. Nothing happened.
Yeah, a lot of things that happen in our head actually don't look like that.
Yeah.
Most probably. You talked about short sentences for the speaker to simplify and make it easier for themselves. But I suppose you also need to think about the audience and who is listening. And a lot of people have an issue with talking to non-experts. So they might use language that's overly technical, or think that their audience will understand something that, in 2 words an expert can
Yeah.
explain, but we have no idea what they're talking about. So what's your advice there?
Simplify. Always simplify. That's something that I see a lot in Croatia. We are very afraid of a simple language. On American stage, so to say, they're great in speaking in a simple language. In Croatia, I sometimes get the comment, if I'm going to speak this simply, that you are as simple as you explained to me, my colleagues are going to laugh. And I'm like, okay, I can get that, because I know in some business communities it's really like that. But what you can do is like have an intro sentence to it, like just say, I know a lot of you know this, but I know also that some of you don't know it, so let's take it from the beginning. And so you are giving yourself and the audience the permission not to know it. In the non-native language, it's even worse, because in the most of the time, when you are speaking in non-native language, the audience is also non-native. And if you are going to use a complex language from non-native to non-native, there is going, in this part here, a lot is not going to be heard. So it's going to be lost in translation, so to say. So these two advices speak to it, to always try to simplify it. If you are a great expert and you don't know how to simplify it, talk to someone in your family who is not an expert. Talk to your child. Try to explain it to a 5-year-old. Or take it through a storytelling. Don't use an expert language, but use like some story to it. How did this person came from A to B?
I would argue this is very important in your first language as well.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, Croats like to complicate because they equate that to sounding important. I think that's something that people think in their languages in general. And your audience might check out and go, I have no idea what is happening here.
Yeah, it's one of the first questions that you have to ask yourself when preparing for a presentation is, who am I speaking to? What do I know about my audience? And sometimes people are going to go to me, I don't know anything. I don't know what are they doing in their lives. I don't know their expertise. And I'm like, okay, you don't know it, but let's take a look of this event. For whom is this event? Is it for entrepreneurs? Is it for someone who is working corporate? So that's something you can ask. Also, what you can know is like, when are you presenting? It is not the same if you are presenting as the first person or the second one, the second presenter, or if you are presenting as, I don't know, fourth, fifth one, and there was no break. Because the audience is not going to listen to you anymore because they had a lot till now, or after lunch. That's like not so nice of a timing. And what you can do then is start with something interactive. Ask your audience to stand up, or be honest about it. Like say, oh, we had like 4 presentations till now. You must be tired. Let's try to stand up to get a bit of air. So there is always something that you can know about your audience. You just have to ask the right questions.
You need to care at the start, I suppose, about these things more than about yourself. I think that's one mistake that we all make. We think about ourselves and our own nerves more than we think about the needs of the audience.
Yeah, and that's something that's also okay, because we are people. That's normal. That's something that we do. There is a saying. I'm not sure if there is a science behind it, that 95% of the time we think about ourselves, and the rest of 5% of the time we are thinking what someone else is thinking about us. So as creatures, we are very ego-centered, and it's okay. It's how we evolved, but knowing these techniques and how we can switch this focus from ourselves to the audience brings really a lot. And like asking a question before some presentation, why did they invite me? What do they need? They are here because of me. Someone believed that I should say something. So let's take a look at what do they need? Why am I doing this? And this helps a bit to switch the focus from yourself to your audience.
This is a good point to ask our audience to say hi and ask a few questions if you have them. We are here for you. So if something's confusing or if you have some examples, please do let us know.
I'm still thinking about lunch, but okay. Lunch polls. And there is a website, Laura. People can see you there. And
who is your ideal audience? Who do you want
this.
to invite to scan your website?
So my clients are, as said, mostly CEOs and leaders, CEOs from smaller companies, like companies that have to 30 employees. They have a lot of communication, how do I say this nicely? Not problems, but they have a lot of communication situations that they want to manage well, like not just presenting in non-native language, but also managing a meeting, that it's not a meeting where they lost their time, but a meeting where decisions are made. And they also have challenges with small talk in meetups, conferences, where they want to show themselves and want to make a good impression. So mostly my clients are people who cannot invest a lot of time in something that's going to make them again lose time. So what I mean by this is like preparing for a meeting is something that you are going to invest time, and it's going to bring you time because you're going to have a good meeting. So the communication is here a bit wider from just presentations. It's managing your communication in everyday business.
In simple words, they have problems with their presentation. Yeah, we can just.
Question as well, right? You help them in
It is.
their first language as well?
Yeah, I'm working in Croatian, German, and English.
And how does it look? Well, these days, especially in your second language, you're probably not speaking with your clients or whoever you need to present to directly, but over some video call or some webinar, something like that. Is there a difference between in-person presentation and in video in the second language?
I would not say it's a second language that counts there, but the video has its own laws, so to say. I think you know it best, Darko. You have the best advices to it. Since I worked in a second language, it was always online. I presented some few presentations live, also some very important ones like pitching for one startup. It was in front of great audience, but I have really a lot of experience working online. And the most common mistake that I see on a video online is that people are like here and they are talking to you here and they are like, you can see everything there on a face and so on. So the first thing is my first advice is always show your hands. So find your angle with your camera that you can show your hands. Yeah, like, because it's something that's happening in the audience when you are speaking. Showing your hands is like you are speaking the truth to me. So that's very important. It's not like someone there is now in audience sitting and thinking, oh, Laura and her hands, that's the truth. But it's something that's going on subconsciously in our minds. So first, get your angle right so you can show your hands. Sound also, if you can provide yourself with a proper mic and proper headset, it would be good. But I would say the most important thing is that people really see you. And when you have a webinar, a masterclass, or something like that, you have to be far more interactive than in live. Because in live, you are going to go, okay, you're going to say something, you're going to see the audience. Online, very often you cannot do that. So, like, asking
You're
the
alone in
audience.
the room anyway, so you have no reason to be that energetic, right?
How do you mean that?
Well, when you're online, you're alone in a room in front of a camera, and you don't have the same feel as in front of 10, 100 people. So you don't
Yeah,
have the
that's true.
urge to be more dynamic.
And the bad news there is like the camera is going to
Making you fatter. Yeah, I've heard that one.
no, I don't know. I
No?
didn't
Okay,
know
sorry.
want to say that. I wanted to say the camera is going to take a bit away from your charisma, so to say, from your energy. So you have to be 140% there. If you're 100% there in live, on camera, you have to be a bit more there to show your energy. What very often happens when we are on a Zoom calls, especially in a meetings, when we are listening to someone talking, we look very bored in this meeting, and that's also something that we are not used non-verbally in a live. So there can help like sitting like this, so you're showing really that you are listening, sometimes even leaning in. So that's something that we are naturally doing when we are live. Yeah. And the other person is like already, oh, great, he's listening to me. Even me now, as you did that, I had this feeling. Even if you know this, you have this
Yeah, that
feeling like,
warm, fuzzy feeling. Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Kind of
he's
interesting.
listening. And maybe the audience can write in chat, did they notice that people on a Zoom meeting sometimes look very bored and like they are not very happy with the situation? And that's something that really can help, especially then when you are talking to your clients, to your potential buyers, like show interest. You would do
Okay,
that live, but we
this is
forget that online.
this is from the other side. But what I noticed is, like you said, you need to practice, and people start to think, okay, this is online. I have a big screen in front of me. I can just read all the time. And the one that want to be more professional even have a teleprompter and read it directly to the camera from teleprompter. So how would you say this works or doesn't work to just skip the practice and just read in your an online environment?
We can test it right now. I can read something and let's see how it's shown. Even if
Hopefully, it's
I'm
something about food.
something about food. No, I'm going to read
You
something
have
about
some menu there. Come on, come on.
mm,
Some pizza shop in the neighborhood menu. Yeah,
wait, I
why
have
not?
to adjust my
Uh,
text here. A minute. Because when I'm saying this theoretically to people that you are going to see that someone is reading, they are always, no, you're not going to see that. And you're going to see that. So let's,
they don't see where I'm looking at.
yeah. Um, okay, and I'm going to try to do it like I'm really trying, not that you don't see that I'm reading. So, okay, you can use your linguistic GPS, use fixed phrases to transition between ideas, moving on to let's look at data behind this. These phrases require zero brain power. What did you say?
Okay, it's not even that what I saw. I think I heard the difference in your voice.
Yeah, you can always tell when people are reading. But if you are really very nervous about online speaking, what you can do is like prepare your speaker notes, like the normal speaker notes that you have in a live session. Take your notes to it, make it a small screen um, underneath your camera. Like if you are taking a Word document, Google Docs, I don't know what, take it underneath your camera and then like have it there as a rescue if you don't
No,
know
no,
what
no,
to
no, no,
say.
no, 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 no. I must say against this practice because what I say to many people, if you try to talk to camera and look beneath your screen or even paper, the female part of the audience will feel a bit weird if you look like this, right?
No, no, that's
No, no?
important. That's
Okay.
important that you get it really up to the camera, or you can even
Okay.
do it like bring it to your wall behind your notebook. You can also do that. You don't have to do it digitally, but please don't read. People will know. They will always know. It's not the
Yeah.
same. Speaking and reading is not the same. We don't have the same pace when we are doing that. We don't have the same sound. You always know it.
Edita has been left speechless. So
Yeah, no one wants to hear that. People fall asleep. It's very it's very noticeable. And I think people who do it notice it after a while as well, that they need a change, because a sleeping audience is not a very good audience, is it?
Yeah.
so reading is not a shortcut for the practice, even online.
No shortcuts. Sorry. That's always what I say. Like, I cannot provide you any shortcuts. I can just provide you maybe some exercises where you are going to see directly an impact. Like, there is this breathing exercise that we did, power posing. There is an exercise for filler words. We can try it if you want. That's something where you can see the impact very fast, but shortcuts, I'm sorry, there are no shortcuts in communication.
Yeah, this is why people need to contact you here via this QR code. I still don't know how to present it properly, but
You are
okay.
almost there. I can do it. Yeah.
Yeah, we can do it mutually. So yeah. People can find you via website or LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Is there perhaps something that we forgot to talk about and that you would feel that our audience would really benefit from?
It does not come to my mind, but I would maybe say one more time that it is not that important that you have a perfect language, a perfect sentences. It's far more important that you bring the energy and the passion to this topic. And if you are prepared, you are going to be far less nervous than not to prepare. And yeah, there is maybe one more tip, like think of a stage fright or this nervous feeling as an excitement feeling. It's going to help you bring the best out of yourself. So it's not a negative feeling. You have to be a bit a friend with it and think of it as an excitement.
That is really great
There.
advice for the end. Make it from negative to really positive. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, Laura, for your time and being here and such great tips on practice. And I'll need to practice. Okay. Thank you, and see you then.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
for inviting me. It was